the wrong show. You got the right show. This is me. It's here. It's JV live from the Steinway Room from Guildford in Surrey. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke. Why, he'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me, as the smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist, never had time for a wife, and he's talking me Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Oh, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd. I don't know how many have we got tonight.
176 on this one.
For a Sunday. Where are they all? Where have you all gone? It's Search for Midwife, isn't it?
Some are on the other site.
And the manager...
Somewhere on YouTube.
Hold on. All right. I don't know details.
Okay.
And the manager, she gives me the details and a smile. This is just filling out. This is when I haven't got much to do. That's what I do.
I'll move on then.
'Cause she knows it's me. Actually, tonight, it's a special surprise. It's Sue. They've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. And the piano sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar, and the bread in my jar, and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Sing us a song, the piano man. Sing us a song tonight, come on. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. G major chord dies down to nothing and then swells again to something. No, I haven't got that note. We've got to stop.
Okay, everyone.
Can I just tell you? No, stop.
Oh, what?
There, you will find now.
What's inside there now?
Inside this are my hairs. I'm not...
I thought you were going to say it was chewing gum.
When I was doing this, it then got stuck underneath here. It got stuck, and I was going like this. I was pulling it. So now what you've got? I've got one there.
Is that your new harmonica that I bought you?
I've got a new harmonica with a little
And
gap
it's
at the
now
bottom.
full of your beard. That's
Oh,
disgusting.
my goodness. Do you know how difficult this is working live?
Listen, everyone,
Hello.
I have set up a laptop just so that Jonathan can see it. It's just underneath the camera. And if you do lots of claps and cheers and little emoticons going up, he should be able to see them. So he's always moaning to me that he doesn't know what you guys are thinking when he's playing. So now is your chance to show him.
Right. So what it's about, I've been talking about, I wanted to get back to live performance. Normally you're going,
look,
what are we, dead performance? What?
They're all going
well, no, are they going? Are they doing it? Come on.
They are. Come on,
no, I mean, it's not that I'm seeking love. You understand? It's not that I'm seeking love or affirmation.
Always.
But if you can give me love and affirmation, it's not performing live. Do you understand? It's wanting to form, So smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Oh, light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile, 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 smile. But not that. And that one, I want to sing for Sylvia. I've been in contact with Sylvia this week, and Sylvia, if you're listening, which I think you're probably listening on catch up, you've been through a lot recently, and it's difficult literally to physically smile at the moment. And you're such an encourager to me in my pretty awful state. And it's been good talking to you. I hope you have a good week this week. So we're thinking of you, Sylvia, going out to you. Was there anybody else that was for?
Yes, I'd like to mention Michelle. Michelle, that's for your dad. I know you're grieving, and it's his birthday tomorrow, I think. So it would have been his birthday tomorrow. So that one is for you, for your dad.
Now, for some reason, and why I can't think of this.
Great idea, Angela, by the way.
This is my son's birthday.
Yes.
Tomorrow,
Yes.
and he's 30.
Dan's 30 tomorrow. Happy birthday, darling.
I mean, this is... we've been apart now for a year and a quarter. I've seen him a couple of times, if that. Like a lot of you. You've been without your kids, and so I don't know what to sing for him. I suppose actually there was a why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart... And I've forgotten it. How about... I've sung this 100 times, haven't I?
Do you like the words?
I'd love the words.
Okay,
I love the words. And I'll talk about it. Because actually... how many minutes are we in, by the way? I forgot to press this. 13. All right, I'll bear that in mind when I'm coming to the end of the show. And what kind of show is it? It's a show where we can just going to be, I don't know, no special guests tonight, but we have a special guest for you. And I will announce her a little bit. Have you got it? Give you a chance. I'll do another song while we're doing that. I'll do Amazing Grace because... I sing an awful lot of songs, as those of you know. People of this is an evening for people of faith and no faith. You come along, you join us, you just kind of you do your thing, and you join in the community, and that's what this community has been about from the beginning, from April and last year, and coming up to 50 shows. Where are we? Of April this year. Yeah, it will be. It'll be the Easter Sunday. And so we've done so many different songs. And I don't like to group all of the spiritual songs together and all the secular songs on the other side. So I like to sing this one. It's this one for my daughter Karen. It says Angela has asked for this one, who sadly slipped away last Saturday evening. This is in memory of her. And Angela, we grieve with you. A lot of loss at the moment. And so this one was almost definitely inspired by slave ships. Very moving stories. Other people have contested this one, but I like this. It's such a simple tune. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When weeping led 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've known as days to sing God's praise, than when we first began. And that's from memory of dear Karen from Angela.
Yeah.
Now, and some water, thank you very much. My picture is frozen. Is yours frozen? Yeah? No, doesn't matter. Oh, there's my beard. Bit more of the beard coming out. Now, let's see if I can remember.
So, as Sandy, you've mentioned that 30 years ago tomorrow, you first met Jonathan. And the reason we know this is because Jonathan went up to do a concert up in London, and you saw him then at St Mary's Lothbury, and he had to hot-foot it out of there because basically I was in labour with Dan, and he had to get home quickly because he wanted to be there for the birth, but he'd gone to do the concert first.
I sung this at Dan's wedding. That's
You
why
did.
I sing it.
You did.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why cannot remember? I cannot remember.
I'm sorry, you can't get the staff
What
these
is it?
days, can you?
Why should my heart feel lonely and long? That's how it goes. For heaven, I've recorded this twice. Home, when Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes on that little sparrow, and I know He watches, and I know yes, I know He watches you and me. Well, that has to be the worst version I've ever done, and
but we love you,
can't help
Dan,
it.
and happy birthday to
Happy
you
birthday
for
to
tomorrow.
you, my
I
son.
can't believe my middle son is 30.
No,
That
30,
is really
unbelievable. I remember him being born. Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? He was born, and I rushed back.
You rushed back.
Rushed
It was
back
in the
from the
days
Bank of
when there
England.
were no mobile phones, so he kept stopping at phone boxes on the way, didn't you?
That's right. It's hard to
Phoning me up,
believe.
and I would just say, "Get home."
Now, this one, I was asked to do. Jerry Cowie
Yes,
asked for
Jerry,
this one.
this is for you tonight. Sorry, you've had a tumble in your garden, but
Have you?
hopefully,
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Well,
you just
Jerry,
mentioned-
what are you
just
doing?
mentioned that, so this one is for you. Good suggestion.
And it's gone off. It's gone off. The
Has it?
computer's gone off. So forget it. I don't want to see it. Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you'll know even then that somehow you'll see him again and again. Some enchanted evening, you'll miss me laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room. So I can't resist it. And night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. All together now, some enchanted evening. It feels like I'm doing kind of, it's a night with the, with
Listen, you've spoilt it now. Just finish it.
some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you hear her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her own. For all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go. I used to sing that when I was about 20 years old. My singing teacher, Susan Legg.
Yes.
Susan Gray. Not Susan Legg. She wasn't born yet. Susan Gray. She used to give me that song. That was my, that was one of my party pieces, wasn't it?
One of your party pieces.
Yes, because it was going. There's no days when I did one of those. As you get older, your voice changes, all right. And it might when and everybody, hooray, bravo! And I feel like I'm doing a kind of an evening with what is it now? It's what was I used to say about it's like one of your women's meetings, basically, so that you'll be doing a tour of the Northwest on. Okay? Is it very warm in here, or is it me?
Yeah, do you want me to open the window?
Could you open the window and let the neighbours
There's a lot of
hear?
hot air in here.
Oh, that's hilarious. So it's going awfully well tonight, and actually, just to give me a break, I have to say, I've had a really quite awful week. And so it's been one of those weeks. Don't all write in and go, oh, you look tired. If you do that, I will have to kill you all right? Now, Sue set up this computer so that I could see the emoticons when they go mad and you start applauding. Now, was anybody applauding after some enchanted evening?
They were. They loved it.
Now,
they loved it.
Let us phone.
It's phone friend.
I'm going to phone a friend now.
Stand by your
Stand by your
phones.
phones.
Phone a friend, phone a friend.
I will be phoning. I'm going to phone first of all. Here we go. I'm going to phone. Now, it's going to have a little bit of a theme about it, but I'm just going to be phoning lots of people. So stand by. Here we go. Is that off, Sue? Okay. Now, many years ago, Sue was at a church in Middlesex. That's where she first... Oh.
Hello.
Right. Hello. Matt Taylor, you've answered your telephone. It's a very interesting concept. It's an interesting idea, isn't it, where you have a phone and you answer it. It's just amazing.
Can I just pull it up on the fact you said there's no special guests tonight?
Yeah. Well, Matt, I have to say, I was gonna have you on as a special guest, but I didn't want to I didn't want to raise your hopes too much. So
Sure. Yeah.
So you're a guest who is special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry while I stick my finger down my throat as I say that. Now, Matt.
Yeah. Yes.
Reverend Mac.
Yes.
Reverend Matt, not even Mac. Reverend Matt.
Yes.
How are you, my boy? Are you well?
I'm very well. Very well. Had a good day today, so that's been great day at church.
Yeah, great day in church. Well, you see, that's what got me going really, because I published put up an article some time ago about Church of England and blah, blah, it's not doing too well, and they're losing a fifth of their members according to reports and all the rest of it during the lockdown. And your lovely wife, she wrote to me and she went, ouch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When I kind of proposed that actually one of the things that some people, not all, but a lot of vicars had just kind of taken their foot off the pedal. And we know people who said, well, it's been quite nice actually, I haven't had to do much. And you on the
You've got to be joking.
You are, well, you're totally the opposite, aren't you? Tell us about it. Tell us what's been happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know it's horrendous, but actually in the middle of, this horrendousness has been an incredible blessing, I think, for us as a church. We're St. Martin's in the Field, not that one, the big one in London, the little one just outside of Coventry.
Oh, right, okay.
And
yeah, but
just
I wouldn't
to say,
tell them that. Just say okay,
St. Martin's in the Field. I'm fortunate because I've got a great team around me. So Sandra, obviously my wife, and I've got a fantastic curate, Abby Rhodes, who actually is an opera singer herself, trained opera singer. So I have Sandra singing and Abby singing. So that's handy.
That's handy.
And so when it all happened, when it first happened, the lockdown, we went completely live straight away. So literally on the first Wednesday, we got our phones out and we decided from the outset we were going to be authentic. We weren't going to be Richard and Judy or pre-recording a whole bunch of stuff. We decided, mistakes and all, what people wanted to see was continuity with what they used to see at church rather than something completely different. Yes. And that's what we've done right the way through the lockdown. In and out of lockdown is live stream, authentic services, including lots of mistakes and things not going right and all that sort of stuff. But the reality of a church service and being church. So that's been really, I think that's gone down incredibly well because people have felt that continuity and that authenticity. And as a church, we've gained members because they've just come and watched us, not just from other churches. That wouldn't be good, stealing people from other churches, but people who have come through. We did an online alpha, and some people have come through on that. And so we decided that from the outset. That's what we were going to do. And alongside that, for those who just can't get hold of things digitally, we've been doing stuff like, well, we do doing by Wednesday every week. Can you imagine this? By Wednesday every week, you've half written the sermon and you've put it on it's a nightmare. put it on a sheet that you sent round to anyone who hasn't got any digital way of getting hold of stuff, and DVDs as well. And then myself and Abby and members of our pastoral team, we cut up the list, as it were, of people, and we rang round one lot. And then when we finished that lot, we started again from the beginning, and it took a long time, but we've been involved with that. So we got involved with the local community because we're working with the SAFE group, which is the local area thing, helping with care packages and that sort of thing. So we've been involved in that too.
That's a very practical way of interfacing with the community.
Absolutely, that's really key. And I think I think because of the incredible work of the entire church, the profile in the community of St. Martin's has grown. I really do believe that. Yes. People have noticed us in a way. And we did an open air Christingle, which at that particular time we could manage, and we gathered people around that. We've been doing, this year is allocated a year of mission, and so we've been doing interviews with members of, using the same technology with live streaming, interviewing members of our congregation about special Jesus stories, and so there's been a whole bunch of blessing amongst losing some key members of the congregation to if it not COVID, to just death. The circumstances around it. Yeah, absolutely.
People die, and they do during that time. Yeah, and that is natural loss. I think actually what you're doing, Matt, it sounds as though. I mean, one of the things that I tried to say was that and thank you for saying about going through the phone book. It's one of the things I kind of said on an interview, a radio interview. I said, one of the jobs is to actually literally go through the phone book A to Z of the, over a period of time, and then just start again. And you keep doing that until people know that you've got an arm.
Yeah, and there's always more.
Sorry. Go on.
Well, that's right. The trouble is, of course, we're a medium-sized church, so we had to split all that up, and you always, as you probably realise, doing some telephone calling yourself, you can only manage a couple a day, because and you have to, and then of course you're continuing to do all the services and work out how the technology works. I mean, my background, as you know, I had some time working in that kind of industry, media industry, so I had a bit of a leg up with all that. But you still have to run the church, as it were, alongside the mechanics of the church, alongside making sure you're reaching out to members of your community, but also beyond that into the wider community. Yeah,
Matt, you've done an extraordinary job, and I wanted to get you on the minute. Sam said that, I actually did say to her, would you like to come on the show and just say to people, because I think people out there need to know that when they see reports, they see a part of the truth of what's going on, but they don't see the whole picture. And of course, good news is very rarely reported on. And so, we only start reporting on stuff when it becomes tragic. And when it becomes a real growth thing instead of that, and when people start to move in the way that they can, rather than the way, some people can't do it, and they don't also have your personality. And it was always something that I knew about you. Your background, of course, is that you went to the same church that Sue went to, and I knew you as a boy. Remember that? I remember as a boy.
Yes, I do.
And I was a lad myself, but slightly older than you. So, you were such a great blessing to so many people, and that is your character. And Matt,
thank you.
We just thank you for your work, for Sanj working with you, and we pray for you as you think about going on holiday in your caravan.
Yeah, I knew the caravan was going to come in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Another.
All I'm saying is, you know the best place for them, which is in a pit, which with some dynamite, just let it go. Let it go, my brother. All right.
I have to say though, just so you do know, Jonathan. I mean, I'm not alone here in Coventry Diocese. There's a great wave of people. Yes, of course, there are people who have taken their foot off the pedal, but most of the people I know in the deanery and beyond, are working really hard. Yeah. And yes, there are pockets of people. I heard someone the other day saying, they've quite enjoyed the time off, but I don't know anybody that locally to me who's thinking like that at all. We're all trying to find creative ways to communicate the gospel in new ways, but also stay authentic to the message and keep people who we've already got a community with, really.
That's brilliant. Matt, it's such a pleasure having you on, my friend. And
thank you, John.
It's just as we say, many blessings, my dear boy.
And you too,
have
mate.
a good one. I'm gonna talk to Andy Stewart Darling as well today. It's going to be kind of that whole theme. It's going to be running around the past.
It's an old boys club.
Yeah, it is. It's like an old boys club, and we're gonna. I'm actually going to have a very special guest from there tonight on at about 9 o'clock. So stand by. Okay. God bless you, mate.
All right.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Great. What a great guy. And it's good to hear, actually, so many. Now, I'm going to do, see if I can do this one. And by the way, Some Enchanted Evening. One of my happy memories of that was Matthew, locally.
Oh, yes, Matthew sang it at the Godalming Halls, didn't he?
He did.
He was part of a concert version of South Pacific, and
I kind of coached him on it a little bit.
Yeah, we'd taken my mum along, and there wasn't a dry eye in our row, was there?
And he sung this, and I was literally following every single word.
You breathed every
I
time.
breathed every time he breathed, and I realised how painful it is being a singing teacher.
Yeah, he did it beautifully.
He did. And this one on the album from Nashville, which it is well, and this one. There, out in the darkness, a fugitive running, fallen from grace, fallen from grace. God be my witness, I never shall yield till we come face to face, till we come face to face. He knows his way in the dark, mine is the way of the Lord. And those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, the flame, the sword, stars in a multitude scarce to be counted, filling the darkness with order and light. You You are the sentinels, silent and sure, keeping watch in the night, keeping watch in the night. We know your place in the sky, we know your cracks and your aim, and each in your season returns and returns, and is always the same. And if they fall as a Lucifer fell, you fall in flame. And so it has been, so it is written on the doorways of paradise, and those who falter and those who fall must pay the price. Lord, that we find him, and I may see him safe behind bars. I will never rest till then. This I swear, this I swear, I thus
Fabulous, really great. That was for two birthday boys this week. Paul McCreary, your birthday tomorrow, same day as our Dan, so happy birthday for tomorrow. And Andy Hatvarney, our opposite number, my son Matt's father-in-law, your birthday is on Friday. So Jill asked for that for you. So happy birthday, guys. Have a good week in amongst it all.
Have you taken mute?
All right, I have now. Explain who this is, because nobody knew who it was the last time.
Oh, what do you mean?
They were confused.
All right. Right. Hello, Andrew. Are you there?
Oh, can I just get my order in again? Because it's a crispy duck, it's the pancakes, and I'd like extra poppadoms to go with that Chinese.
I can do whatever you want to do. I am not beyond it. I will be done for everything. I'm sure Facebook will close me down right now.
Well, if they don't, I will.
They asked me to explain who everybody was because the last person, they didn't. They said they didn't know who he was. His name was Reverend Matt Taylor. I did say that.
And I explained who that was in there.
Right,
so
right.
You did.
Reverend Matt Taylor.
You did.
I did. Thank you. Thank you. And those who weren't listening, pay attention. All right. Right now, here was it. His name is. I know this is kind of too difficult for you to understand. It isn't a difficult name, but you're going to get it. Here it is. It's Andrew Stewart Darling. I know somebody with a hyphenated name. Isn't that clever? Well, I said my own son is Dan Patterson Vera, so I suppose now it's Andrew Stewart Darling. And Andrew, tell us who you are and what you do at the moment.
Well, my name is Andrew Stewart Darling.
Yeah. Cool.
And can I just say
that
Matt Taylor is one of my oldest friends.
There you are. I see.
And what a joy it is to actually come straight after him.
Yeah, well,
big shoes to fill.
That's it. I thought, who else could follow him? You know. But Andrew
in fact,
Stewart
I've just texted Matt, so we should have been on together. Really, we could have done a two-man act. Or
no,
something.
I could not bear. I could not. Obviously, I haven't got enough time for that. Okay, I just haven't got enough time for both of you together. I think that was it.
Well, we are the special people, you know that, but for different reasons, perhaps. I don't know.
I know, but you're special to us. I was your best
Yes,
man.
yeah.
You knew. You lived with us. May the Lord help us as we remember that. And by the way, I don't want to go on about this, but I think you owe us £372 for the gas bill. I'm just saying, I know that was now 34 years ago, but on an accumulated interest, we could actually buy a home in the country with that. I'm just saying. Now,
the problem was, John, I had to use that money for counselling when I left you guys.
Andrew, now, look, just give us a clue. What do you do for a living?
Okay, well, I'm a vineyard pastor. My wife and I, we church planted in South Suffolk some 14 years ago. And having left West London from an Anglican church, strange enough. Yes. And we've been doing that best we can, but bivocationally, because when you church plant in the vineyard, they don't send you out with very much, apart from a low-spec laptop and a pat on the back and a prayer. So, but we went out all the same and to do that. And so I do that. I work bivocationally, which sounds like a neurological disease. Yes. But I'm actually working in marketing brand to make up my living. So, but having said that, the church has grown. We do a food bank. We have established a church there. We've got a staff team now of 6 or 7 people. So it's a growing concern. Yeah. So it's all good in South Suffolk, and it's much needed.
Okay, so talking about growing concern, were you concerned as it grew? I mean, was it a kind of, did it outgrow what you expected? Did it become a thing? Were you worried about taking from other churches, all of that kind of thing, when you were talking about growth in that area? Because it's a small area, isn't it? I mean, it's Suffolk, it's in Sudbury in Suffolk. Yeah.
I mean, I think I echo what Matt said earlier, really. You want to grow a church, but you don't want to do it through other people's churches. No. It's that's not really pioneering. It's not really growing churches. It's just transferal. But, the problem is people will come to you eventually if they've, and you've got to, at some point. Well, I remember in the early days, actually, we did send people back to their churches. We did it. Yeah. And we did it for quite a while. And I remember Emma, my wife, saying, we've got to stop doing that, we're just not going to have anyone coming. But you have to honour the local churches. And I think there was a threat. I remember we were at a church gathering, and we were asked quite early on, was our intention to take people from other churches? And we said, no, we really see ourselves as reinforcements, not as a competition. So, we have always tried to be honourable in our relationships with all different denominations, and to just love and honour what the Lord's doing amongst us all.
Over this time, tell us just briefly, because we've got to move on. But I
do a special guest.
I want to find out what it's been, your story during this lockdown, because you suffered, and you're not going to say this, but you got the COVID, and you've had what we've known now, what we understand as long COVID. Would that be fair? How did you get it?
Well, who knows, John? I mean, it's very early on. I mean, the irony of this, the irony which I've been sharing with some church leaders, was that at the beginning of the year, in January, February, I'd actually started preparing to write a book. And it had the working title of Interruptions. And then COVID hit.
Here we are. Hello.
Here we are in March. And like a lot of us live in ministry, we started racking up the hours to try and prepare ourselves for whatever was coming next. And, not wearing badges of honour, but a lot of us did many, many more hours than we were actually paid to do to try to help our churches ready for what came next. But somewhere in April, I contracted COVID. The trouble was, I didn't know I had it. Because I was so exhausted with trying to do church and burning the candle at both ends, that it just clobbered me. And I can remember we got to May, and it was the weekend actually that we were actually baptizing one of my daughters, and who had become a Christian. And she was supposed to be getting baptized at her church in London, but because she was stuck with us, their church had a great idea that they could baptize her in our back garden in a paddling pool. And so it was a memorable weekend where we had and it was a weekend, I don't know if you remember, but Zoom went down. Yes. Everything, we had a big outage. Yeah. And we were resorting to Facebook, and we had all these kind of Facebook watch parties going on, all these cameras around our garden with groups of people watching us baptizing our daughter. But it was a memorable day for that. But in the midst of that, I was feeling sick, and I was aching and hurting, and chest was just pounding. And I just thought, this is not right. And so on the most exciting day, I've also felt absolutely ill. And then it was all downhill from then. Excruciating pain, excruciating aching, headaches, everything you can imagine. And it just got worse. Eventually, I did go to the hospital. I went to A&E, but I was diagnosed of having had COVID. I was no longer seen as being infectious, but the symptoms were still all there. So that was it. And I went downhill. I didn't do what I had planned to do, which was to lead a church into the period. I was taken completely out of the game. And but amazingly, our church staff just stepped up and did a fantastic job. And the church has continued to flourish without me, which is what it should do.
That's brilliant.
So,
in which case, that's okay then. In fact, is it trying to tell you something, mate? Should without you, when it flourishes without you, think, okay, all right, calm down,
Yeah, I think the problem is we leaders are a neurotic bunch the best of time, because we always think, we won't ever say it out loud, but we feel we need to serve our churches in a way that's almost, although we don't want to use the word spoon feed, but we are worried about not spinning the plates and things collapsing around us if we're not there.
But in fact,
it's a neurosis, and really what it means that leaders, we have to get over ourselves, really. And one of the things which we did a survey amongst our church, and people said, yeah, my faith is still growing, thank you very much. So you kind of get to this point thinking, well, what is my job then as a leader? And maybe we just got leadership wrong. Maybe discipleship is about allowing people to work out their mess with some guidance from us, with some support, but we're not there to clean up their mess. We must let the mess happen, because that we grow in the mess.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. That's a lot. That's very relevant for this community as well, particularly. There's a lot of mess around. There's a lot of death and dying and sadness and woe and yet togetherness, and they find each other. And I think what's interesting, it's been we started this. They've called it the JV community, but effectively they keep it going themselves. That's what they do in this lot, and it's a wonderful thing to see. And you step back,
thing, John.
If you have the courage to step back and see it, then it's a good thing to see, isn't it? I mean, Andy, just give us one. Could you give us one story? I mean, I haven't asked you, I haven't primed you about this. But you give us one story of encouragement that will just kind of take other people through. You don't have to name names. You just have to give an example. But if you could, of a story that is heartwarming through this.
Well, you caught me on the hop, and in that few seconds, I'm just trying to think of one story. I think first thing I would say is we've seen thousands of lives touched this year through the things So our church, we've been involved. We've done the storehouse food bank for a long time, and need has quadrupled in every year for the last 4 years. This year, our team put themselves on the front line at risk to keep serving. We were the only place that was kept open during the first lockdown, and subsequently still now, which was important. And so for the church was open all year round. It might not have been open for Sunday, but it was still open. Yeah. I think the church so often has been known as being a place of guilt, where we dispense guilt to each other to get people to come along and be part of what we do. But I think we've reinterpreted that to now turn into grace dispensers as opposed to guilt dispensers. I think the equity of the church, what it's done locally in the community, won't be forgotten as we go forward.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That footprint you've left, Andrew, in the midst of all your own difficulty and severe difficulty and threat to life is quite remarkable. I wanted to have you on earlier in the year, as you know, and it wasn't the right time.
No.
But this is wonderful, and maybe you can come back later on actually and do a longer interview about that leadership thing. I wouldn't mind you doing that. That'd be nice and consolidated thoughts once we're past the worst, which it looks like we are now. But I think it's been lovely having you on, mate, and joining. Well,
John, you're doing a fantastic thing here. We love what you're doing, and you are a real lifesaver for people. And it's a big sacrifice for you to keep doing this every Sunday with your health. But I know everyone in the JV community thinks you're amazing, and such a gift from God. So thank you for what you're doing to my friend.
And you're the best man I've ever had to.
I think I'm the only best man. No, you're my only best man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For those who don't know, John was the best man at our wedding.
Yeah,
and we're still paying off the debt.
Wedding. best wedding I attended ever, actually. It was a brilliant wedding. And one of those, I can't always say that. I'm not a great wedding lover, as my family know. I'm not great at that. Even my own wedding, I was terrified by. So, but then look at Sue. Everybody can see why. Silence. All right, mate. Love to the family. And lovely
love
to
to
have
Dan
you on.
as well.
God
Love
bless
to
you,
Dan.
mate.
Can't believe he's 30. Wow.
No, I know. Can't believe. I'm going to do a little. I can do a little song. I can only imagine. I've never done it before, so I can put this one. And God bless you. See you again. Bye now. I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. Can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. Can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? Can only imagine. Can only imagine. I can only imagine when the day comes when I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I do is forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Wow. That was
Never
amazing.
done that before, have I? Didn't do it until...
Someone just asked which album it was on, and I said the first time you did it was at 5:30 this evening. So that was particularly mentioned by Gloria Cross. I think you had it in memory. Oh, you wanted it in memory of your Aunt Anne, who died this week. And so Jonathan's never tried it before, so he's
I thought I'd just do that one
tried
for you.
it now.
And I was going to put it on an album years ago, actually. Do you remember?
Nashville one, wasn't it?
Nashville, and I just decided it was very overdone at the time.
Yeah.
And so I thought, no, another version. Ivan Parker from Gaither had just done it, and I thought, actually, I wouldn't do it. I wasn't going to do it. You take off the mute, please.
It's off.
Oh, there we go. He never uses his phone. I think I'm going to have to... Right, I'm going to have to contact his wife. Forget that. We'll just do... There we go. Because she always does kind of leave her phone on. There we go.
Hello, he's just coming.
Yes, sorry, Alison. He doesn't leave his phone on, clearly.
Eh?
He doesn't leave his phone on, clearly.
He does leave his phone on. He sat here with it in his hand, so I don't know why.
I have
I'll
no
just pass
idea.
you over.
Right, pass it on. There we go.
Jonathan,
Lyndon, how are you doing? You're not in the same room?
I'm doing absolutely great. It's a joy to be on the Sing Something Simple with the Jonathan Vera show.
Yeah. You're not going to be singing anything simple with me, mate. I'll tell you that.
I wouldn't attempt it.
The Mike Sam Singers, boy. Do you remember those on Radio 2? Mike Sam Singers.
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, the
Mike
good
Sam
old
Singers.
days. I loved them. I've done one of the next recordings. I've put on a kind of Mike Sam Singers backing thing for What a Difference a Day. What a Difference a Day makes. You love jazz and all that kind of stuff, don't you? You're a jazz lover. Lyndon? I'm phoning you for lots of reasons, but just tell us what was your background, because you told me. But tell us, you're a member of the community. With Alison's been on as a nurse. She talks about on her job, but you haven't been on before. What did you used to do?
I used to be a brain surgeon. And
Yeah.
I've
talked to you, mate. You definitely have not.
Yeah. No, years ago I used to be in the piano business, and this is what I get distressed when I see your piano looking a bit tatty around the edges, and I think that as a owner of a Steinway, you should have it polished a bit more.
Well, actually, Sue has bought, and those of you, on his advice, Sue has bought the stuff you advised. And it's literally, she's not letting me get anywhere near it. That's the first thing. Because she said, me and DIY. But if you notice, actually, could you just, Rachel, can you just show the side of the piano here? And so everybody can see. This side of the piano, I was given this by Judy Davis, Judy Graydon. And she'd had it, and her mum had left it in the sun. And so the veneer that is over the roll of the piano here, that has flaked off, and it flaked off by the time it had come here. And I thought, well, actually, one of the things I was going to do was have it repolished, but then, money notwithstanding, it has to go in and be repolished. It can't be polished on site, and they wouldn't do it on site. So it's remained as it is. So you've got bits hanging up, but so I have no idea what to do, to be perfectly honest. Not a clue.
Jonathan, I've got to ask you now. I'm talking to you from the bedroom. It's the only place in the house where I won't get interference. Now that sounds bad.
There we go.
Anyway, on your piano lid, I can't see the word Steinway. Is it there?
Right. Can you, Sue? Can you zoom in on here? Just zoom in on here so you can see it. Now, bring it right in, right down. Okay. So it's down here. Right.
So
here, Steinway and Sons there, and it's on the inside of the piano.
Right. Yeah, that's where it should be.
And it's like there's lots of imprints on the Steinway on the inside. Lots of copyright. Steinway. I can't remember now. Where is it? Well, all over the place. Steinway patented November the 30th, 1875.
Yeah.
Industrial bar patent number 1875. Then the next bit was 1872 patent.
Yeah. And
so it went on. Steinway Foundry and etc. So it's all on the inside, engraved in great big letters. Anyway, now it was, you got out of the piano business, and now, are you retired now?
Well, I might as well be. With this lockdown. No, I do leather repairs now. It's a long story. But when the piano business sort of folded back in '82, there was a slump back then. And I looked around for something else to do. And so just temporarily, I went into, I'm cutting a lot of blood out here, but I went into the leather business, selling furniture. Then I found I had a talent for repairing it. And so I've been doing it ever since. I'm not an upholsterer per se, but no, I mean, if anybody's got antiques or anything like that, it's something that's difficult, I'll have a go at it and put it right for them.
That sounds fantastic. Goodness knows, I would have you, if you could look at, if you did woodwork, I would actually have you come and replace the veneer on the piano. That would be a good thing to do. And it would be an excuse to sit and talk to you. However, this is not why I phoned you. The reason I phoned you was because you mentioned in a text something that I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get him on to speak instead, rather than just talk to me and me did say it. Tell me what you told me, and what you'd like people to know about what you do and the people that you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now there's got to be more than just me and the people in my area. There must be drivers around the country. We're volunteer drivers that. We put ourselves on the line. You don't often hear about it, if at all. And we take people to the hospital, to the doctors. We take them shopping. These are people who are infirm, but also perhaps they're pensioners. And perhaps just people who are afraid to go out, and especially with the lockdown, they're petrified. And there's a spin-off to that quickly. People who are petrified, they come out with me. Haven't been out for nearly a year, and it's absolutely true. They haven't been out. People brought shopping in, but they themselves haven't come out. So I've had to take them, say, to somewhere like the hospital, and on the way they're talking to me. And as I said in my text to you, that basically we operate a counselling service, if you like. They can let off steam and talk about all the problems they're facing. We can't guarantee to answer their problems, but at least we can lend a listening ear, and just to sort of, do the business with them. And it gives them a sort of hope that there are people out there who do care.
That's a very special thing, actually, Lyndon. And it's that kind of thing. It's those unsung heroes, isn't it, that you were talking about? And there must be hundreds, if not thousands, of people doing exactly this, who are getting them in the car and taking them to places and taking them to hospital appointments and doing all the things that... And I think the level of isolation can't be underestimated at all with the older people.
No, the elderly especially. I mean, they I'm not tarring them all with the same brush, but a lot of them really, truly don't understand it. No. And they think the moment they step outside the door, some mysterious bug that looks like a snowball is going to smack them in the face, and down they're going to go. Yeah. It doesn't help when you see the statistics, and sort of, vast majority are the elderly. Yeah. So that's why they stay marooned in their house, their homes. They don't come out. And then when we come along, it's, oh, joy, fresh air. Yes. The other day, I'd bring in a lady home, and she said to me, do you have to bring me back the same way? And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, can you take me for a ride round? She said, I haven't seen anywhere in a long time.
Cotton socks. But that's exactly it, isn't it? I've been saying this to Sue. The mental health implications of this lockdown for older people have been beyond quantifiable. And I don't think, because there's going to be no, but by the time it's all over, which is fairly soon, and the vaccine is doing its thing, 20 million today, and 90% protection, and 90% reduction in hospital admissions, and all that kind of stuff. I think we had 144 deaths today nationwide, which is a massive reduction. And the hospitals are now being put on a lower level of alert. Of course, they have. And so we can't forget, though, the damage that's been done to these people. No. I mean, for me, I suppose it's knowing there are a lot of people out there who truly do not understand it, and that in itself is causing great mental health problems. I agree with you. Totally and 100%. I think this idea of you can't step outside the house because if you do. But then you have to go back to the notice that those of us who are shielding received. And it says, we advise you to... People felt shielding meant staying in the house, literally.
Yeah.
And although government said, oh, you can go out for a walk, and that escaped them. What they felt was, if you go out, it will get you. It somehow will get you. The fact that it's a proximity virus was of no consequence at all. There was no intellectual grasp of it. It was simply... So I think in the one sense that the message worked because it meant that people didn't go out. So it worked, they stayed at home. But in doing so, the poor and the vulnerable and those the old, they just have... Well, anyway, look, what I wanted to say to you was thank you on behalf of people out there for the job that you're doing, and we recognise that and we put it out there, and many thousands of people will see this, and we thank you from the top of our bottoms and beyond. And as a thank you, you asked for this, and I literally got it up on my iPad. So Sue's going to come across now, and she's going to try and turn for me. Lyndon, bless you for being on. It's lovely having you. Have a good one, and we'll keep talking and keep offering me things that I can't play. All right?
Well, I tell you what. If we talk again, I'll tell you a load more stories which we haven't got time for right now.
Well, I want to hear a story about Steinways. I do.
All right, mate.
God bless you. Bye now. Right now, come and sit down, Susan Ann. I can barely see this. I'm going to put this here. All right. Before I do, it is the air on a G string, all right? Ish. Right? He wanted it played in a jazz style. Now, I'm just going to read it and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. It might go all pear-shaped, but let's give it a go. So what do you think? Let me see some hearts and some love. Let me feel the love, people. Let me feel the love. Right, I'm going to close that one off. Right, we're now at 1:13, aren't we? We're about 1 hour 13 in. Is that right? Okay, one more phone call, then we're going to have our special guest. Let's just have this, and just let me see how she's doing. And this will be the last special guest of the evening. Here we go. Have you got yeah, there we go. So it's a real phone a friend night tonight. Hope you're enjoying yourself, and hope she answers. Oh, maybe she won't answer. Doesn't look as though she's good at answering today. Oh, here she is.
Hello.
Hello, Sharon Bye. How are you doing?
Hello, Jonathan.
Are you well? Oh, you got cut off. How was the call? It says, how was the quality of your call? Not very good.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Don't know what happened there. You froze.
Right. I know. Sorry, Sharon. Look, just want to find out how you're doing and how's Chris and all. How's your life and what's happening, job and all that kind of thing. So,
thank you. Well, before anything else, I need to pass on a message to everybody from Chris.
Oh yeah. Well done.
Because he's asked me to thank everybody for their prayers and for their kind thoughts and for all the cards he got as well for his over Christmas. He was so grateful and so appreciative. So thank you for that. But he's doing very well at the moment.
That's good news.
I always say that with bated breath because he does like to keep us on his toes. But yes, he's come out and he's finished his treatment for the last infection. And we're hopeful that with a low-dose antibiotic now for 3 months, we can keep things at bay until they decide what to do over his kidney stones. But at the moment, he's good. We had a Skype call today and he was very alert and very with it and, was able to engage very positively. So
is he still in the hospital?
Every day like that. No, he's at home now. He came out. Okay. Yeah, he came out. He was there just over the fortnight and he's home now.
Brilliant. Okay. That's good news then. What about you and your life at the moment? You've been looking after, your job has been or is looking after a care home. Tell us about that. It's been really tricky, hasn't it?
Yeah, I manage a number of care homes in London and Essex for people with learning disability and complex needs. So we have the 4 registered homes that have been obviously coping as best they can with the pandemic. And in the first wave of infection, we were very proud and very pleased to note that we managed to keep our homes absolutely infection-free. But as many social care providers will tell you, that this second wave was horrifyingly more challenging, I have to say, because once an infection took hold, it runs rife, because nobody, with the best infection control processes, with the most attention you can give to infection control, once somebody gets the virus, then it just runs rife. And we had a small outbreak in one of our homes where we had a couple of residents test positive and a couple of staff, but that was more manageable. But I'm based in one of the homes, but I don't actually manage the home. But the service manager had left, and one of the deputies had to work from home because she was clinically very vulnerable. So I had a fairly new deputy and myself based in one of the homes, and very sadly we had a small outbreak, and we had 4 residents in total test positive, and we had, in the space of probably 3 weeks, 12 staff test positive. So it absolutely decimated the staff team, and obviously people were in such a bad place over how did this happen. We've been so on top of infection control, and the truth is that, as Public Health England would explain to anybody, literally 4 people can walk in to a room and touch an infected doorknob, and one of you will get the infection and the other 3 won't. But so that's negative. We did lose one of our residents, sadly, which was a very elderly lady who'd lived at the care home for a very long time. But, you know, I'm very pleased to say everybody else has come through that period. And on a positive note, we are beginning to feel, I think anybody in social care will tell you that as we work to support the residents and the people we support and their loved ones, we feel that we're beginning to come through a period of quite bleak times and, you know, have a more hopeful feeling. So my care home managers are very excited about being able to allow visits again, if you know, albeit controlled visits and limited time. But it begins to feel, as people take up the vaccine, that, you know, things feel safer and we're becoming more hopeful. And I think the lesson that we've learned from this is no matter how strict your procedures are and how careful you are, this is a lottery and those risks are there. So, and this second wave was just so much more virulent and so more highly infectious that none of us could stave off that risk completely. So,
well, thankfully.
So yes, that's where we are.
Thankfully, have you? I presume have you had your injection? Your
yes. In terms of vaccinations, we've got very high take-up rate. Ironically, in the care home that I actually work from, we had a lot of staff initially for different reasons and for various reasons being very scared about the vaccine. But once they went through that couple of weeks of experience that they were suddenly first in the queue with their arms rolled, sleeves rolled up, saying, "Give it to me."
Exactly.
Yeah. And ironically, we're very lucky that most of our staff have been, very, very forthcoming with wanting the vaccine. We've got one home where we're struggling, where we have a group of staff who've got some fear around it for different reasons, religious, philosophical, others. And what we're trying to do is do what everybody in the community is doing, is, explode those myths and encourage and reassure. But we are noticing the take-up is better now.
Good. And I think actually that's what this show is trying to explode those myths. That's what we had last week. And we will be replaying that interview next week. The interview with the professor of pharmacology from Liverpool University, who was involved at a high level in creating the Oxford vaccine, which today has come out with the 92% on its first injection. So now we are in a very different position that we were. We have 20 million vaccinated, and I think actually from now, they were saying today that it should improve exponentially. So you, as a care home, should be coming out of it soon. I mean, have you been? Sorry, go on.
I think the one thing I've learned I think the biggest lesson I've learned from my dear brother and all his challenges in his health is that, that holding on to hope. Chris is a man, as you know, Jonathan, of deep faith, and he's got such a positive outlook on life, and he makes me advocate for him with a passion that, nobody else can quite believe, because he's got very strong views about people not giving up on him. And I think the one thing I've taken from the experience, I was quite blasé. I run, care homes for people. Primarily, some of our residents have very complex needs, but I'm in that category of younger learning disabled clients who are residents who are, on the whole quite healthy. But the way that this took hold, I think the one thing I've really taken from it is that hope and positivity is a driving force. And you have to, nobody gets onto an aircraft and the pilot, if the pilot's panicking, you're going to get straight off of that. And as a leader, I know that sometimes when I'm absolutely petrified, I have to show confidence and positivity. And I found that quite challenging over a few weeks, because, I was as frightened as everybody. I put myself in the front line. I couldn't expect staff to be caring for people, no matter what training you've got and what PPE. If you're not used to working with infectious disease and illness, it's concerning. It took me back to the 80s, 90s of when AIDS hit the community, and the fear that people had then, because it's that lack of knowledge. And I think the one thing that this has taught me is that being positive, actually, hope. You have to hope that we're going to get through this, and we're proving this right now. We're beginning to see the infection rate come down.
Exactly, and actually all the mitigating factors now. Science has has helped us to achieve this, and we're very grateful for that. And we're also very grateful, Sharon. We're going to go now, but I just wanted to talk to you because you are one of the members of the community that has been so helpful and positive during this difficult time with people, even with all that you've got going on. There are various people like Liz that you've been helping and that you offer your help to people and encouragement. I see it often. I don't often comment, but I see your comments on others, and it's gone noticed. And it actually, Sharon, you've been an absolute stalwart of this this community, and I always want to thank you for that. Okay.
Well, it's very, very kind of you to say, but it's an honour and a privilege to be able to help others. And, you know, I can only do it because I've often walked in those shoes myself. And I think for me, being humble and recognising that, and if I can give something to the community, then it's an honour and a privilege to do so. And I do it with an open heart and much love, because I think it's really important we all stand together at a time like this.
Thank you, my darling. This is absolutely brilliant. And God bless you. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Jonathan.
You.
Love
Have
to
a
you
nice
all.
night.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Just to close it before we stop. I'm weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Oh, let me walk with thee.
Through this world of toils and snares, if I falter, Lord, who cares?
None but thee, dear Lord. Just to close to walk with thee, granted Jesus this my plea. I'm daily walking close with thee, let it be, dear Lord, let it be. When I feel life is over and time for me will be no more, guide me gently, safely home to thy shore, to thy kingdom shore. Just to close to walk with thee, granted Jesus this my plea. I'm daily walking close with thee, let it be, dear Lord. Oh, just to close to walk with thee, granted Jesus this And that featuring the extraordinary, the voice of the sequined. Are you sequined?
I'm sequined. No, I'm
Let's
not.
see your sequin. Are you sequined, not sequined?
I'm not sequined.
She's saving the sequin dress for
My
the
world tour of the ladies.
The world tour of
the ladies' meetings
of the Northwest. You're not even this. You're not even. You don't even get the South.
No, just the
All right,
Northwest.
just the Northwest. And as John Dick pointed out, there's some very interesting places in the Northwest, as Cumbernauld, for example. I think that's it. And everywhere else isn't of interest, unless somebody wants to write in and tell me that the Northwest has much more interesting places. And ladies and gentlemen, this...
Can I just say, the Northwest does not have Cumbernauld in it.
It's the Northwest. It's in the Northwest. Not the Northeast, is it?
Are we talking Scotland then?
Scotland, exactly. The Northwest of the UK.
I've gone up in the world. I thought Northwest meant as in Manchester and the Lake District and
Well,
so
that's
on.
because you're racist. And but that's
because I love that area.
That's in fact, Sue. Everybody would be thrilled to. I know Colin Bora is sitting there right now, who asked for something operatic, and I'll see whether I can get that in towards the end of the show. But Colin, you asked. You're always saying, "Oh, Sue, hello, Sue," and all you people go, "Oh, Sue,
It's
lovely Sue, oh, Karen Bate, oh, Sue, oh, Stuart McCready, oh, Sue, oh," all that. And so I thought, actually, I didn't want a special guest tonight. I just wanted a special guest tonight. And so our special guest is you. So, hello, Sue.
So
we welcome to the show.
I am in my special guest
in your
box.
special guest box. Here she is. I can't see that.
I have long wanted to be in my own special guest box.
Well, Sue, tell us. I mean, we mentioned these two people, Andrew Stewart Darling and
Matt Taylor.
Two reverends and leading churches in different parts of the country. And you came from a church where it has a tiny little village church, relatively speaking, but really batted above its weight.
It did, actually. I was taken by my friend Sally to a youth group at a church in Laleham near Staines in Middlesex, and it's a village. It's a village outside Staines, and it's a small country church, really, a small village church. But it had the most amazing youth work, and so many people from those days have gone into full-time work as vicars and missionaries and do amazing stuff all around the world and so on. So it was this sort of incredible sort of place of teaching and strictness, I have to say.
Yeah,
it was also quite
now,
strict.
It wasn't all... Because you've moved away from that, haven't you? To be fair.
But I'm very grateful for the teaching that I had then, but I feel as if I've been able to progress a bit.
You've developed as a person, as a Christian, and everything else.
Yeah.
But it taught you a lot about certain aspects of faith that you've held on to.
Yeah.
So and it birthed you.
Yes.
But it's a bit like staying in the same.
Yeah.
You know, when you move on.
Yeah, you move on, you grow, and you develop.
Do some different things. But I just wanted to get the people to know, because a lot of people don't know who Sue Vera is. So, and it's an interesting question, because if I say, you see her every week, and you've seen JV and Sue, and it's been mainly JV, and people do interviews on me, and they do magazine articles, and Sue has had the occasional women's meeting, want them to come and do a meeting, and she's done her own talks. But she's generally asked questions like, what's it like living with your Jonathan? Which I find, eventually, it's quite objectionable. I find that personally objectionable, because you are your own person.
Yeah, I did do a series of talks over a number of years where I used to talk about what it was like being married to you, and particularly relating it to the fact that back in 1989 you were very seriously ill, and we all thought you were going to die, and you didn't. And
you said I'm going to die soon instead.
I've been rehearsing that.
Yes, exactly.
And I used to call it living in the eye of the storm, because I have to say that being married to you is like living in the eye of the storm, or I have to keep in the eye of the storm. I think that's probably why I was saying that being married to you, there's a lot of energy that's being expended.
But that's not who Sue is.
No.
So who is Sue?
Sue is a mother. It was interesting. I didn't know that I would enjoy being a mother as much as I did.
No, because
And
before you were a mother, what did you do?
I was working for the civil service. I was working in job centres, helping people get work. And in the 1980s, that was tough because the recession was really biting then. But I loved the work, and I loved working with people. Dave Back said last week that he had wanted to do medicine, but he sort of mucked around and hadn't got the results. And he'd done a degree that wasn't like that. And I'd mucked around. Well, I wasn't
No,
actually.
you weren't mucking.
I wasn't.
You're not a mucker around.
I'm not a mucker around. I wasn't clever enough to do medicine, so I did biochemistry instead, which was a real mistake. I did not enjoy that at all. So I didn't want to continue that afterwards.
So what did you do? Went and trained?
I went and trained and worked in a job centre and worked, as I said, helping people find work. And then when I got a bit bored of that, my boss was sort of quite keen that I should try and find something else to do. And he said to me, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I quite fancy the idea of training." So he said, "Okay." And I was sent up to head office and they said, "Yes, we've got a job for you." So that was incredible. I mean, that should never have really happened.
But that was
like
brilliant.
that.
Filming and training.
I
and
loved it. I loved being a trainer. I loved working with small groups. I loved learning all kinds of things. And the irony is, I always say that nothing in our life is wasted. And in those days, do you remember, I did a training course on how to film sessions.
Yeah. Irony.
And I've been using that
Ever
all
since.
the way through lockdown. So, I mean, just
But you
incredible.
also, I mean, this training, you're not finished yet. I mean, and if somebody asks you to do training out there, and if anybody's got anybody that wants training, then you go and do it.
I did dip in and out of it over a number of years. And then I started running training courses for parents, and it was called Practical Parenting. And I just loved those courses. I loved running them. I used to joke about the fact that I needed them because with 3 sons and a husband who was away working a lot, I needed those skills. But I did that, was it for about 17 years? 17 all ages, so 0 to 5s, 5s to 11s, and then teenagers. And I did enjoy running them, and I made a lot of friends through running them. And
you nearly ended up writing a book about it, and I don't know why you didn't actually. You should have written a book about.
I got close.
Writing that. But you moved at the same time, and you were wearing these different trousers, as it were, weren't you? Kind of jeans,
hats, yes.
Jeans for the
Yes,
kids,
yeah,
and stretchy pants.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Post children, stretchy pants, and then it was going out, putting a power suit on, going up to the office of the Deputy Prime Minister, or to Windsor Castle, and training military people, or it was a bit of a life, wasn't it?
It was a bit, and it was one of those things where I loved doing the work of going out and running training courses and going to different places, like, as you say, Windsor Castle, or I did a lot of work for the civil service and Civil Service Training College, and that took me into all kinds of departments and all kinds of places. And then in recent years, I've worked with Rachel Slough, who's a member of this JV community, and enjoyed doing a lot of training and facilitating with her. So it's been the kind of career that's sort of dribbled on over the years, I think. Yes. I never did it full time because I was either raising the boys, or we then started working together back in 2012, where I started putting on the one-man shows and really taking that by the scruff of the neck, really.
Just a little song, a little break for you. Isn't it good, actually, finding out a little bit about her rather than all about me? But this one, listen, I think you might know this one. Here is love, vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. When the Prince of Life, our ransom, shed for us his precious blood. Through his love will not remember. Who can cease to sing his praise? He can never be forgotten. Throughout heaven's eternal days, you alone shall be my glory. Nothing in the world has seen. You have cleansed and sanctified me. You yourself have set me free.
That was a lovely version.
Very different. but I
Lovely.
just made that
Very
one up as I was
nice.
going
Very
along.
nice. And that's for Erica and David for their wedding
Their
anniversary.
wedding anniversary.
Because
The
they had that at
Cleggs.
their wedding.
Lovely. Did that right?
They did.
Sue, so you did all this training, you did a degree, and then you had the children.
Mm-hmm.
Were you prepared for the life that you've lived up to and including now? Because it's been recent times have been very difficult.
They
haven't
have been very difficult. I think I'm a very I think steady and boring kind of person. So my life has been
boring
a
is
lot
good.
more a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. And yeah, it has been fascinating and interesting, and there are times when I think, oh, I wish I could have done so and so. A few years ago, I decided that what I really wanted to do was to train to be a counsellor, and that I wanted to sort of get that happening. And I went and found a course I wanted to do, and then I couldn't start it because I couldn't manage the first week of that year, and then
that was that.
it sort of became quite clear that I really haven't got the time to do it. So maybe one day I'll do it. Maybe one day I'll
I
do
hope
it.
you will.
Yeah.
And but a lot of it that took over you always, and I always felt this was something that I felt very sad about, and I felt I don't like looking back at those lives that people said I would have done, but I gave it up for my husband.
I mean,
you know how I
yeah,
hate that.
I know. I can honestly say that I don't feel as if I've given anything up for you. I think God, if I can put it this way, I think God put us together for a reason. And
Sorry, stop that a minute.
I think
Everybody
you
out
needed
there,
help.
I don't know what that reason is.
I think you needed help.
I haven't
That's
got a clue. I don't know.
essentially
Whichever
it.
camera you look at it, I don't know what the answer is to that one. But go on.
And so, yeah, I think basically, you've been able to do extraordinary things. And I know that I've been able to help you to do it. For many years, I was your operatic half agent manager kind of thing,
Oh, well,
because I managed your manager.
Definitely.
Because that's not something you
I
wanted
didn't want to do. And
so,
I've fallen out with her, and I didn't want to work with her
my
anymore.
skills have come in useful for many
Peacemaker.
things. Yeah, peacemaker.
Pragmatist.
And I guess so.
What's the other P? Perseverer. A perseverer.
Yes.
And but that's it. Actually, that's the kind of person you are. Whereas I'm an exploding bomb. You always see the good in people, and I don't.
Your
I'm not
agent
good.
used to say, "I'll talk to the lightning conductor," and that's sort of the role I've had. But that's how I've been wired. That's how I've been made. So I don't feel as if I've given up anything so much as I have made choices along the way that have worked. And I think we're a good team, and I think most people in the JV community know that. You do, guys, really, don't you? You know.
Can
you
I
know
just
the power
raise
behind the
if I can
throne.
raise my eyebrow in that way? It just goes, look, I couldn't do this without you, and I couldn't have done. I wouldn't have done 90% of what I'd done without you. There's no doubt.
I would say certainly you've been very reluctant to do certain things. And
Well,
it
no,
has
because
been
I'm frightened. You've been always
Yeah.
the one who said, no, you can do it. And I'd go, no, I can't. I had no confidence.
Yeah.
And that was, you gave me confidence.
Yeah.
It was nobody else who
I
gave me
think
confidence.
You needed a lot of encouragement.
Ian Lawrence gave me confidence.
You needed a lot of encouragement
did.
along the way, and that's what I'm wired to do. So, you know, it's worked very well.
There's a person in the Bible called Barnabas, and it was known as an encourager of men, and the great encourager, the ministry of encouragement. And that's what Sue has got for all of you, for so many of you on this community, much more so than I have. I mean, I'm the kind of man who stands at the front and says, "This way, my party." And
I think you're a bit more than that.
Yeah,
I think you're a bit more
but you know what I mean. I mean, I think actually at the heart of it, that Sue is, she's just a good person. And those of you who know her, she's a good person. And it's a very rare thing to find something which is genuinely good. She's had a terrible time looking after her own mother, who's just seen. And this week has been a bit of a collapse.
That's been hard. My mother has had memory problems over the years, and I said to Jonathan that parenting your parents is a difficult place to be. And I know that for many of you on the community, this is where you are, where you have been. And for me, parenting my mother and helping my mother has been tough. But it's been a bit like, and I'm sure many of you would understand this, it's been a bit like you're on a raft and you're helping someone who is drowning, and you start off being able to keep them on the raft with you, and then bit by bit you lose them into the water. And I would say the last couple of weeks I feel as if Mum has slipped into that water a bit more, and that actually we're now in a situation where, because she's lonely and because she's frightened for the 12 hours that she's not got care in her place, that she needs somewhere where she's got a little bit more support around her. So I've been sort of whittling down the ideas and working out where I feel happy for her to be. And that's been a grief process and a loss process. And as I say, many of you understand that.
I'm going to sing a couple of songs, but time is crept away. It's been going up to 2 hours now, and we might just go a few minutes after over, just to sing a couple of songs, I'm going to sing two verses from different ones. This one is for Gareth Hill. Gareth, who, with a name like Gareth, and we sing for Gareth Jones as well, who has gone through an operation this week, a neurological operation, and we think of him. But Gareth Hill only wanted this simply to rub everything in. I thought he was doing it for spiritual reasons, but no such thing. He wants, after the trouncing that England got yesterday, from Wales and England rugby, he wanted this. Guide me home, O great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand. Bread of heaven, feed me now and then. sing anymore because actually because it was a very sad day. And then those of you who stood in Cardiff Arms Park or the Millennium Stadium in the
but
past.
we love the Welsh rugby team. As
it
someone said
was
to me
marvellous
yesterday,
and wonderful, you know.
if you were raised in the 70s, you love the Welsh rugby team.
Oh, Gareth Davies. Well, think of him right now, running down the left wing, and here we go. Now this one is a couple of verses for John Penman's 65th birthday.
Yeah, 65.
John up in Scotland. Hello, John. How you doing? All right. Nice to see you.
And we really, really hope that we get up to your church at some point. But this was from your lovely wife. She said, just say you're the best granddad ever. From Hannah, Cameron, Ewan, Harris, and Bethany.
How many grandchildren have you got?
But also Rachel Frost. It's your birthday today, and your mum Lindsay thought that you would like this one. So for you both.
I'll do a couple of verses. In Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song. This cornerstone, this solid ground, firm through the fiercest drought and storm. What heights of love, what depths of peace, when fears are stilled, when striving cease. My comforter, my all in all, here in the love of Christ I stand. No guilt in life, no fear in death. This is the power of Christ in me. From life's first cry to final breath, Jesus commands my destiny. No power of hell, no scheme of man can ever pluck me from his hand till he returns or calls me home. Here in the power of Christ I'll stand. John Penman, his 65th birthday. Here's a song for lovely Lorna.
Yes.
On her, I don't know, she must be about 25 or 30 now, something like that. And Al Duncan, who's been just a loyal friend to this show and has listened so much, has helped us so much over the albums, and this one. When you're down and trouble, and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. Sing it. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. It's spring, summer, or fall. All you've gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, I'll be knocking at your door. Right, come on, choir. We want to hear you sing it all over the country. You just call out my name all over around the world, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. All the way over there in Miami, Florida, Andre, my cousin. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. And in Canada, my auntie and uncle. You gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? Come on, Sue. When people can be so cold. Come on, you sing it. You hurt you
and desert you,
and take your soul if you let them,
but don't you let them.
Everybody joining all around the world now, wherever you are, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, St. Vincent, the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, America, all over in Norway. You know that. And in Sweden, as you listen to this now, you just call out my name. Can I hear you? Come on. And you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Now in harmony. To see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Oh, darling, you've got a friend. Oh, my sweet darling, you got a friend. Oh, darling, you've got a friend.
Sorry, I want to just say something before you move on.
Okay.
I think, judging by the comments, that quite a lot of people have responded to what I just described as the life raft experience, and a few people are feeling that they're actually slipping off the life rafts. And actually, that's what You've Got a Friend is about. That this whole community is about having other people that you can talk to that haul you back onto the life raft if you feel that you're being sucked under because you are a carer. Either for family, friends, or whatever. And as Louise has just said, the life rafts are being launched. Those of us who can want to support those of you who are struggling. So you do have a friend, and the You Got a Friend or Got a Friend Trust is there to help people who are struggling financially. So please just remember that, and don't feel that you're on your own ever.
Such love, pure as the whitest snow. Such love weeps for the shame I know. Such love paying the debt. Such love paying the debt I owe. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Such love. And this verse, particularly as what you just said, what Sue's just said, such love, stilling my restlessness. Such love, stilling my restlessness. Stilling my restlessness. Such love filling my emptiness. Such love filling my emptiness. Such love showing me holiness. Such love showing me holiness. Oh, Jesus, such love, such love springs from eternity, springs from eternity. Such love streaming through history, streaming through history. Such love, fountain of life. Such love, fountain of life for me. Oh Jesus, oh such love. Oh, Jesus, such love. Oh, Jesus, such love. Jesus says, those who are thirsty, let them come and drink. And that may be what's in your mind right now. To Judy Steele, who put a message up about feeling exhausted and not knowing what to do. And he says, come to the fountain, come to the water and drink. And
Fountain of life.
Fountain of life. And we just leave it there. Well, it's been a very different. It's been a very
different.
Very lovely.
And people have enjoyed it. I think people have enjoyed the fact that it was a bit more simple and straightforward.
Sue, those. Can I just say, Colin Bora, I will do the story next week. Okay, the Glyndebourne story.
Yes.
So Colin asked for a Glyndebourne story in a song, and I will tell the story of when the conductor collapsed. That's always a goodie. And I'll sing a song for that. And I'm also looking to sing, somebody asked for Lord God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel, from Mendelssohn's Elijah. And you know, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel. And I will do that. It's very high, and it...
You'll have to work at it over the week.
And
no 5:30
no
looks next week.
And that's what, no, and it's anyway. Sue, any notices? I'm going to leave you with the notices and the girls, because it's time we moved
on. As ever, if you want to ask any questions about the streaming, it's the JV Live Tech on the Facebook group. And so that's fairly simple and straightforward, and they will help you with any streaming difficulties. A few people have mentioned the odd thing tonight. Thank you to those of you who have been so generous to us over the many weeks, and all the sort of the small amounts add up to big amounts, and we are so grateful. Those of you who wish to contribute, you can either do that through paypal.me/Jonathan Vera, or you can write to me at sue@jonathanvera.com, and I can give you the bank details. And 25% of what we are given we pass on to either a charity or to You've Got a Friend Trust. And as a result, last week we had lovely Dogs for Autism on, and Hilary said that with lots of donations that happened over the week, and with the money that we were able to pass on, they've received £500, which is amazing. So you are the most incredibly generous bunch of people, and we are just so grateful. So thank you very much for all your generosity to us. All the CDs are available on our website. Just go on to jonathanvera.com and you will be able to listen to anything you want to. If you want a gift, just let me know at sue@jonathanvera.com, and I will get Jonathan to sign it for you before I post it out.
And
to
what
you.
did we sing from? We sung Stars from It Is Well.
Yes, from It Is Well.
What else did we do?
What else? I mean, Christ Alone is also from It Is Well.
Yes, it is. Such Love is not available on that one, sadly. And Just a Closer Walk with Thee, which of course is on Hymns Project 2. Which was written by Sue Rinaldi and myself.
Yes,
and it's lovely on there. Apart from that, Smile, of course, is available in the new one.
Yes.
The new lockdown, and the news on that is that we're sending it off to MCPS for
Yes,
copyright.
so we're almost there.
We're almost there, and it will be available. John Greenwood, where's my CD? He's probably has gone to bed now anyway. But it will be the idea will be it will be available on from the week of Easter Sunday. That's
the
Easter
idea.
Sunday.
That's my target. That's what I'm working towards. So hopefully we will get there with time to spare.
Do we have any other announcements, Sue? Next week we have a couple of special guests on, completely different. I like to provide you with some different. That's why I wanted a week off, because we had so many special guests, so many weeks after one after the other. And we've had haven't you had a wonderful special guest in, Sue? You found out a little bit more about her.
Thank you. They've been very kind.
And they are very kind.
We have yet scratched the surface, I have to say.
I think they have. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to tell. There is nothing else. I know. I've lived with her for 40 years.
Can I just say a big thank you to the tech team. They do the most amazing job.
In a very difficult circumstance
and
today.
Very difficult circumstances, not least of all that Jonathan just throws things at them at the last minute. And they're just apologising if they've missed any messages from you over this last week. It's been a very busy week for them. So apologies. If you haven't had a query answered, just send them another message and they will make sure they get to it. But we love them and we love all the work.
Exactly. Thank you to all of them, to Rachel, to Claire, to Ben. And next week, the special guest will be a great personal friend of ours, Sue Legg, who runs the university vocal department.
So a musical week next week.
It's going to be a very musical week, and he is a film composer, and he will be taking us on a guided tour of his studio and helping us to see how he creates from nothing a piece of music on his computer.
Some very clever people out there.
And then she was a singer with me at Glyndebourne, fabulous pianist, an outstanding pianist, pianist first, and then she became a singer. After that, and a wonderful mezzo. She'll be singing some songs as well. So we've got that coming next week and an interview with them. So it will be a real completely different set of songs and everything else that's going on. We love being part of you. We'll sing a couple of songs now, and Sue here in a sequin dress to sing 2 songs. We always finish the show with this from the Lockdown album. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face towards you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face towards you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging on. We'll see you next week, same
God bless
time.
you.
And have a good week, and hope it's better than this one was.